Time's up, Admiral.
Here it comes.
All kids out of the pool for adult swim. All kids out.
Lego Lord of the Rings Balrog raised eyebrows for what some fans say is an unfortunate pose. I see it. I see it. Oh, I see it. It's taking a piss on Gandalf.
You shall not!
And he says to her, listen, you got a fine white girl ass. So I don't like the look of this D. Listen, I don't need gay or straight boner pills. My boner works just fine.
Before you go, one question.
Yes?
Where in the galaxy is Sanusi?
Show us your tits and I'll tell you.
Yeah, I want to see movies! I think I've died and gone straight to honker heaven. Boobs are amazing.
Hail and great. I thought it was going to be stronger there, but it isn't. Hang on, let me clear my throat. Hail. Voice is still not back. Voice is not back. My voice is still not back. I'm still coughing. It's been a couple hours since I last coughed, but my voice is clearly still not back when I try to speak above a certain decibel tone. Anyway, hail and howdy, everybody. Welcome to the Daily Dive, the Double Ds. Were you the chat, the gatekeepers? No, we are not basement dwellers. We are not basement dwellers. Where you guys are in charge, you run the show, you are the insane people that make me do terrible things to myself. Which what does that make me? I don't know. But we are here to have some fun. My voice may sound like it's dog shit, but I am essentially recovered from that. I mean, what a journey from a week ago. This time last week, when we started the show, I was barely holding on. We made it an hour, but then literally I had to shut the stream down because I went and threw up my lunch. So here we are a week later. I'm still a little sick. It hasn't fully run its course, but I'm essentially better. I actually got a full night's sleep last night. I slept 7, almost 8 hours of generally uninterrupted. Woke up. I still had a little bit of right here, but it's been okay since then. It hasn't been constant. Obviously, as I said, my voice is still not recovered. I essentially sound like I have some sort of laryngitis. It sounds worse to me than I think it sounds to you guys, but I don't sound normal at all. But we are here. We're ready to have a good time. It's Thanksgiving. I hope everybody's ready to have a good time tomorrow. If you are going someplace and spending time with family and friends, and I am gonna cough again. I can't stop. Yeah, it's gonna keep happening. The more I talk, the worse it is. And I can kind of feel a rasp coming to my rattle here. It's going to probably have to go off camera any minute now. Anyway, but yeah, here we are. But it is also Warhammer Wednesday. Warhammer Wednesday for Thanksgiving. I wonder what we got, because Kel does have a video for us for $20. The Crusade never ends. Yes, we have another Arbiter Ian video. The Black Templars chapter, Origins and Lore. Hell yes. I don't know enough about the Black Templars. So we got that. I'm overcome by your presence, Frank. I live in fear of all of you. Each and every one of you strikes fear in my little nerd heart, because I don't know what you guys are going to do to me every single day, because you know what? The rules are the same. It's holiday rules, though. No, this is something special here. $5 gets you an Adam rant. Could be interesting with the level of my voice. $10 gets you to ask a question. I'll tell you no lies. We'll have a discussion. We'll talk to each other. We'll figure things out. And actually, you know what? That's one of my favorite ones where we just usually nerd out over something, or I give you guys a really good deep dive if it's a question that I have knowledge on. Then $15 gets you an article reaction to news from the news segment, or one you may have found you want me to react to. $20 gets you Adam has to sit through a video, which we got today for Warhammer Wednesdays. And $30 gets you chat made me watch this reviews. Whether it's an episode of television or a movie, I must watch it and review it live on the stream for your entertainment. No edits, no takesy-backsies, no pauses. We go full force forward and deliver. Anyway, so that's what we got. Them's the rules. You guys make the show happen. I have no real topics for today. I mean, I have sort of an opening thing we're going to get into a little bit, but it's a pleasant one. I don't have anything pulled up, none of that crap, because it's the same shit. I keep coming across the same shit because that's my timeline. Stands pretending their thing is important. People crying about this, people crying about that. People trying to tell us that Superman was still good and all that kind of shit like that. So we're not going to pull any up today because today or tomorrow. I got to keep the throat hydrated here if I'm going to make it through the stream. Tomorrow begins the holiday season. Officially. Tomorrow officially begins the holiday season. And I'm all here for it. Now, I'm on the record. I'm not a big Thanksgiving guy. I'm not really a fan of most of the food. Don't like turkey. Not a sweet potatoes guy. I don't believe in the whole green bean casserole. If I want to string beans, I'm going to saute them in olive oil and garlic and mix them with other vegetables. I'm not going to make a casserole. No one can do that. I don't really eat cranberries, and I don't eat cranberries. I don't do stuffing. I'm not a Thanksgiving guy. It's not food I eat. I'll eat ham, but I prefer it sliced thin in a sandwich, not cooked ham. That's not big off the hot. That's not my thing. Not my thing. So I'm more about the vibe. I'm more about the vibe. I don't need to eat the food to think that Thanksgiving is a moment where you want to take a moment and check up on yourself. Because I do believe in the idea of what are we thankful for? What are we thankful for? I believe that we should always find something to be thankful for. Because it reminds you it could always be a lot fucking worse. It humbles you a little bit. I mean, I am not living a perfect life. I'm not living even close to my best life. But I am thankful. I am thankful that this year the channel has at least reached a level where I can make some legitimate money on it. Well, some helpful money on it that it made me thankful that I'm not living on the street. Because without this channel, I'm living on the street. I'm living on the street without this channel right now. Without the support of everybody here, I am living on the street. I'm in a bad place. All this stuff gone. All my collections gone. All of this gone because I'm on the street. I am. This channel has made me thankful for you guys, for this opportunity to do this, to keep doing it, and have the potential to keep going. So I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for my mom. Without her, throughout my life, I would have made even worse mistakes. I think I've made some mistakes, and many she's been a part of that she co-signed. But I'm thankful for my mom. She's a wonderful, beautiful woman. I love her very much, and I want to continue to strive so that I could take care of her more, like she's taking care of me in my life. She needs to be the one that's taken care of now. Why you got to do this? I'm trying to be positive here. I'm trying to be down to earth and positive. And now we're talking about pimps and Johns and Marks. You really are in Dermy's basement, aren't you? Ball gag and everything. Gimp suit. God damn it, Kel. God damn it. I'm trying to be normal for a minute here. My throat is struggling. It doesn't hurt. It's just the struggling to keep up a tone that you guys can hear. I am thankful that I still have a sense of humor, that I can still laugh at something, because I always say, if you cannot laugh, then there's something wrong with you. If you cannot laugh at something, if you cannot find the humor in something, if something cannot strike you and just make you laugh spontaneously, then you're in trouble. I can still laugh. I can still laugh. And also I can find the humor in the shit I get put through, because I set myself up for it. What else am I thankful for? Realistic. I'm not gonna do token shit. I'm not gonna say, oh, I'm thankful for this. No, I'm trying to do the real stuff I'm thankful for. Because that's what, to me, Thanksgiving is about. Realizing that things could be worse. Be thankful for the good things in your life. I guess can attach that I am thankful for the opportunity to keep doing this. That I still have the chance to keep trying to grow this small business that this channel is the beginning of, and that there is a road ahead of me that I'm trying to reach, and I'm thankful I still have that opportunity. And I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to go. I think that's about it. I'm not going to dive any deeper, because then I would start being thankful for every little thing. No, I'm thankful for like a broad bunch of stuff. Thankful for your proud of. Well, I'm thankful for that because that made me look brilliant. Makes me look like a genius. I was right, and I love being right. Love being right about the things I know. Now here's let's do a couple silly ones. I'm thankful that entertainment continues to be retarded, because without that, we have no foundation with which to work with for this channel. But though it does make me sad, because I hate it that entertainment sucks. But I'm thankful that it's there to talk about. Otherwise, what do we talk about every day? Can't talk. The channel isn't big enough to just talk about positive things all the time. We have to look at the news and be critical. We have to. Got to talk about something. Let's see. You know what? Here's a serious one. I am thankful I live in America. I am thankful I live in this country. We are not a perfect country. We have still many problems in terms of making things work properly, whether government or industry or all these things work properly. But this is still, in my opinion, and to all our friends who live in other countries, I'm not sorry for saying this. We are the greatest country in the world. We are the greatest. America. I am proud to be an American. Only here can people be the most retarded versions of human beings and not get put in a camp or disappeared. I mean, seriously, we are a place where the most retarded of retards congregate to say the dumbest of shit and make complete absolute intellectual fools of themselves. But they get to do it because this country is built on things like freedom of speech, freedom of expression. So I am thankful to be an American. I'm thankful to live in this country. Only here can I probably find the opportunities to go forward. Also, our supermarkets work. Our grid may be wildly unprotected, but it works. So I am thankful that I live in I'm an American and I live in this country. I'm thankful for it. Don't want to live anywhere else. Don't want to. Because here's why I'm thankful. Because of the glorious document that is our Constitution, there's always room. The tools are there to fix the mistakes. The tools are there to fix the problems that we may have. Because the people have the power. And we have things like the Second Amendment to make sure we keep the power. So I am thankful that we live in this country, because no matter how bad it gets, I believe our forefathers, those great visionary men who created this country, they set up a system where when things get fucked up, if you apply the proper tools, you can fix things. Takes time. They design things to not move too quickly, but things can be fixed. But it requires knowledge. You have to understand how things work. You have to understand that we are a constitutional republic. We are not a democracy. You have to understand that rights are rights for everybody. You should not be having this person rights there, that rights there. No, everybody has rights. We're all Americans. Rights for Americans. So it is. I'm grateful. I'm trying to find the right words here. I'm grateful, thankful to be in this country with all its problems that we still have, because there's always a chance to make it better, always a chance to make it work. And I am, as Kelsey may go, I am not black pilled. I've been black pilled on before. I don't want to go back to being black pilled. I have to remain. I could be a little bit cynical. I could definitely be a little bit cynical, but I will not go back to being black pilled. I did not like being black pilled. It's too stressful. It's too sad for me to be black pilled again. I've been there, done that. Don't want to do it again. But either way, I hope you guys are getting ready to have a nice holiday tomorrow. If you're on your way traveling, I hope you're being safe. Hope you're taking it easy. Hope that if you're going to see your family, I hope that all goes well. And I hope that you enjoy yourselves with your Thanksgiving meals, and then watching football, playing games, doing whatever you do. I mean, for me, tomorrow, it's just going to be another Thursday, honestly, for me, because our pseudo Thanksgiving will be celebrated over the weekend because my mom works tomorrow. So I will, I'll just be on Thursday, but frankly, it'll be a Thursday where I do nothing. I will do nothing tomorrow. I will take the whole day off, essentially. I'm not going to set my alarm. I'm not going to worry about when I wake up. I'm not going to worry about when I go to bed tonight. I'm just going to not worry about anything, because it's a day where you can take a day off. Just like Christmas Day. I'm not going to worry about anything Christmas Day either. But I am excited that we are here. It's the holidays. This is the gateway to my favorite time of year. I love the holidays. I love it. We are, today is the 26th. So we are 5 days away. On December 1st, I break out the Santa hat. So next week, when we go live next Monday, I'll have the Santa hat. It's Santa hat season. I love Santa hat. Every live stream, Santa hat on. That's the rule in December, ever since I picked it up a couple years ago. So next week, we go Santa hat. We start planning the holidays. This week I break out the Christmas tree, because we have a false tree, a fake one. So I break that out for my mom to decorate, because she likes to decorate the tree. I don't decorate the tree; that's somebody else's job. But I do love for December, because once you January, you take it down. But from December 1st through the end of the month, I like seeing the tree. It brings a sense of joy. I like seeing the tree, all the lights, and it's a tiny tree too. It's only like 3 feet tall. It's a tiny tree. Goes up on the counter, and it's a nice tree. It's a pleasant tree. But I like seeing, because you see it, and I feel that little bit of Christmas joy. And of course, December 1st, then I'm going to start whistling. Christmas songs, all the classics. It'll be in your head. Occasionally, I'll throw out a Merry Christmas to somebody. Just see if they reply Merry Christmas, just to see. Because I believe you say Merry Christmas. You say Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. And then at the end, Happy New Year. Do that. But it's the holidays. All the holidays. I believe the holidays are important in general. You starting tomorrow in general. It's that time of year where you try to not be as much of an asshole as you usually are. Try not to be an asshole. Try to be nicer. Try to smile a little bit more. I'm not saying look for the best in people, but for yourself. Just try to not be the worst version of yourself for a little bit. Now, does it always work? Of course not. Bad shit's going to happen and put you in a bad mood. But it's that desire to put a little bit more joy into the world. Because there's some joy to the world. There's put a little joy there. Put a little happiness out there. Because I guarantee it. If you take the time to try and be a little better to yourself and a little better during the Christmas, it will affect somebody in your life you come by. It'll make somebody feel a little bit better. And if you manage to just do that, then I believe you've done something right for the holiday season. You've done the right thing because it's about being a good person. That to me, that's what the holidays are about: being a good person, being a little bit better. You've already started watching Christmas movies. Now I won't start watching Christmas movies until December 1st. Then I'll start with Die Hard. Yes, Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Die Hard is a Christmas movie. And then from there, who knows? I know next weekend, not next weekend, but the following weekend, for my December my December drive-in movie, we'll be watching Scrooge. So I'm going to be saving my Scrooged watch for drive-in in a couple of weeks. And then I don't know. I know I'm going to watch my favorite version of Christmas Carol. I'm going to watch Patrick Stewart's version from the TNT special he did. I have it right over there. Right about there. Yeah, right there. Right there. Yeah, I'm going to watch Patrick Stewart's Christmas Carol. That's my favorite one. And then let's see what else. What do I feel like watching this year? I'll probably watch Lethal Weapon and then watch all 4 Lethal Weapon movies because I kind of like to watch all 4 of them during this time of year, all in a row. So I'll probably even though Lethal Weapon doesn't quite hit all the marks, it happens during Christmas, so it's an excuse for me to watch them all in a row. And let's see, what else do I feel like watching this year? Because I don't watch the same things every year, except for Die Hard and Christmas Carol. That's the only things I watch same thing every year. I kind of go with the flow. I don't know. We'll see where the mood takes me. I'm sure you fine people will throw something my way. RIP his brain. RIP his brain. Yeah, so I'm not going to talk Christmas movies because it's not, at least not now. We'll talk Christmas movies probably once we hit December, but we'll have fun with that. I'm sure you guys are going to throw something my way during that. Maybe watch something I don't want to watch. Anyway, what else? What do I have? Anything else I want to talk about in this vein of thought as I try to get us started for the holiday season? God, last night I had such amount of coughing fits. I gave myself a splitting headache in the back of my head. It took virtually all night to go away. It started at around 5 o'clock and it wasn't fully gone till around 9 or 10. And I took stuff for it too. Took forever. And it's just because all the coughing I did, it's all so sensitive. My poor brain shaking around in my head. So, man, I had a horrible headache last night. Terrible headache. Oh, it's kind of the kind where I wasn't sound sensitive or light sensitive, but it's kind of where you don't want to move because every move, you just feel it like everything's just like, oh, stop hurting. Stop hurting. So I'm just kind of sitting here going, please stop. Please stop. Yeah, I'm still playing a game with one hand. That's the dedication of a gamer. You have a massive headache, but you're still sitting there like this going, come on, go click, click, click. Still sitting there doing it. Anyway, I guess we should get started with the show. Let's see if we got anything else in stream elements before we get going. I guess we should get started with the show. I've rambled long enough. So welcome, everybody. Glad you guys are joining me on this Wednesday before Thanksgiving. And hang on. Some of my glasses. Thank you for joining me today. Hit that like button. Let's have some fun. Keep talking to each other. Keep the chat rolling. And with my voice, we'll keep going. We'll keep going. Let's hit the refresh on these. See what we got. See what we got. Okay. As always, we start with the shitstorm. No talking tomorrow. Why can't I talk about tomorrow? Oh, no talking to it. Yeah, I don't get to talk. Yeah, tomorrow I am gonna say virtually nothing all day tomorrow. The Grumpy Cat Christmas movie. I remember when they made that. Hey, that used to be my nickname for a while. Okay, variety. Let's go. Wicked cinematographer. Don't give a fuck. Don't give a fuck. Movie's going to make its money. We're not talking about it anymore. We'll keep track of box office in 2 weeks. That's it. Don't care. Don't care. Don't care about Wicked. Box office of Toby 2 races to 10 million in previews. Second biggest start for Disney Animation. Yeah, I'm going to be taking a hard L on this one, it looks like. We talked about that yesterday. I'm going to be taking a hard L. Okay, all right. Let me blow my nose, and it's not a dumb. It's a silly story. It's a silly story. Let me blow my nose, and I'll tell that story. All right, this was 2013, and it was during Star Wars: The Republic. It was my guild in Star Wars: The Republic, and I got in a bad attitude. I got in a really bad mood at one point, and because the raids were getting rough, people being dicks, and also I had a really bad year in 2013. It was not a good year for me. Just basically consider me maybe getting 3 hours of sleep a night, not eating well, in a bad situation where I was living. It was a bad year. So at one point, one of my buddies just goes, "Well, you're just Grumpy Cat, aren't you?" And I go, Yeah, I'm fucking Grumpy Cat. Fuck all of you. So for about a year, or well, within that year, within 2013, within the guild, I leaned into letting people call me Grumpy Cat. I even changed my avatar profile on forums and all kind of stuff. I leaned into it hard. And then at one point when I realized, okay, I'm not so pissed off anymore, I said, okay, it's over. And then it's like, okay, we're gonna end that joke. But yeah, for about roughly 7 or 8 months, I leaned into a whole Grumpy Cat nickname thing. Just because I was in a bad mood for almost an entire year. It was not a good year. 2013 was a terrible year for me. Anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna take a big L on Zootopia, but we talked about that yesterday. And it is what it is. I take my L. James Vanderbeek posts heartfelt video in his Varsity Blues jersey to support Cancer Battle auction. Thank you for love, prayers, support. Yeah, we just did Varsity Blues on Drive-In a couple weeks ago. I like that movie, and best thoughts and wishes to James Vanderbeek as he's fighting cancer. Good luck, dude. Good luck, man. Disney Plus and Hulu bundle is discounted to $2.99 a month. Oh God! Once again, gee, thanks for the Christmas present of Disney Plus. No, fuck you. Jeez. No, I don't want to be called Grumpy Cat. No, I don't want to be called Grumpy Cat because Grumpy Cat's dead. The actual Grumpy Cat is dead. So let's not do that. Social Agent app offers Uber-like service for content production and video editing. How about I could do my editing myself? How about that? Red Rocket. I have bad thoughts when I hear that word. Moving on. Will Dawes, Plum Pictures co-head rated show with okay, dude's dead. Okay. Sorry, you're dead. Univision returning to YouTube after nearly 2-month blackout. They just want to get angry at the president. We talked about Kate Beckinsale last night in Discord on how she's insane. We touched a little bit yesterday here. We talked about more last night when we were hanging out. Man, what a waste. What a waste of a beautiful woman. What she's turned herself into physically and mentally. Letterman says he's never been more proud of his admirer than oh, shut up, Letterman, you angry old lefty. Fuck off. Anything here. Anything of interest. Oh, God. Alien Earth. Simu Liu says the backslide of Asian representation is Hollywood. Hollywood is effing appalling. Studios think we are risky. What? I'm sorry. We live in a world where there are many Asian stars and have had massive careers. This guy is just an idiot, isn't he? He's a moron. Fucking himbo. Dates with Stars knows. Stranger Things 5 season preview. Season 5 preview. Blah. What? Damn it. I really hate that. But yeah, it was. Stranger Things starts tonight. Did it start tonight or did it start yesterday? Well, I'm not watching it, but hope you guys who were enjoying it enjoy it. I don't care about it. Not interested. Anything here? More of this crap. What? Want to cut the wicked for good Dorsey? I don't even know what you're talking. Who cares? Macaulay Culkin opened a Home Alone sequel and shares idea Kevin McAllister faced off against his son to get into their locked house. Yeah, it's no. Don't care about Knives Out. Fuck Ryan Johnson and fuck everybody involved with that dumb shit. There's nothing going on today. Day before Thanksgiving. Nothing going on. Nothing at all. Nothing. Yeah, it's from yesterday. Yeah. I mean, here's another reason why I'm not doing a show tomorrow. Nothing's gonna happen. If we don't have a news segment, that's like the middle of the show here. Yeah, Simu just needs attention. I mean, he's gonna be in Avengers. He's gonna be in Doomsday. Probably gonna get killed though. All right, let's move on to IGN and see if there's anything here. Sega suggests expectations for definitive editions could be behind disappointing launch sales. Sure. I don't know. What is that, Persona? Is that Persona right there? Wendy's offering small Frosties for only 67 cents on Black Friday as a nod to viral. All right, could somebody explain to me the 6-7 bullshit? I don't know what this is. I've heard it. I don't know what it is. I really don't. Well, maybe you shouldn't threaten me in Dermy's basement, and that wouldn't happen to you. But somebody explain this 6-7 thing. What is this? Old man doesn't know. Old man doesn't know current retarded thing. It's just Zoomer garbage slang. God. You know, I think we need to have we need to set up a trial. We need to set up a trial. And just because of the two closest Zoomers at hand, put Dermy and Jed on trial for all Zoomers. And have them answer for their generation. We should do this. We should do this. And I know they're not directly responsible, but we should put Dermy and Jed on trial as the only Zoomers I have the most interaction with. We should put them on trial for their generation. We should do a whole stream of this. You know, we should do it where we put them on stream, we put them up front, and we ask them questions. We'll try and find some sort of unbiased judge. Yeah, a lot of people can be found guilty. A lot. Anyway, I'm gonna come back to this idea after the holidays. I'm gonna come back to this idea. Jared Leto's Tron Ares gets digital and Blu-ray release dates. Wow, that was quick. Flop. More Disney money lost. PS Plus December, don't care. Cyberpunk 2077, excuse me, now has sold 35 million copies. Currently, CD Projekt Red's main source of revenue 5 years after launch. That's a little sad. I of course, never got involved in it. I have no desire to play that game whatsoever. Duffer Brothers list the 4 key episodes you should rewatch to prepare for Season 5. I'll take that onto account. Hold on a second. I got to check something real quick. I'm expecting a very large package outside the door. My order from earlier this weekend, my pots and pans set. I want to see if it's here. Nope, still on the way. Not here yet. Okay. Had to check it. That's a big-ass box. We'll get that inside as soon as possible. The Nintendo Switch Online catalog updated as Game Boy app adds retro Easter eggs. Yeah, I don't care. And they're not giving me much to work with today, are they? Not much to work with. Fortnite Chapter 7 teaser includes Lego Ninjago nod, Fansei, and the return of the Cube. I would need some of that explained to me. Mission Impossible Final Ranking gets streaming release. That was yesterday's news. We heard that already. All right. GTA 6 gameplay leaks are going viral on social media, and generative AI is making them more convincing. Yeah, if you're smart, you don't show any of this stuff. You don't show it because they will strike your channel. Also, I don't care about GTA 6. It's a granite-based set. I got a black version this time as opposed to the gray one I got last time. It's a 20-piece set. Got several different pots and pans. 9-inch, 10-inch, square saute pan. Got a demi rondeau in there. 2 different saucepans, and a couple baking sheets, baking trays, loaf pan. It's got a couple serving spoons as well. Very excited. Got a good deal. It was like 40% off. So I got it for only 150, down from like 200 plus. Really good. So I'm really excited. It's getting here just in time. Going to be able to use it this weekend for all the cooking. It's going to be going on. So yeah, I'm very excited, and I like the granite ware stuff. It's good nonstick because I don't really like getting non-stick stuff because I don't like it when it starts to flake. Then you're eating that shit. What? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? Anyway, GTA 6. Yeah, don't show that stuff. You get hit. Warhammer 40k Dark Heresy gameplay trailer shows off Ogren Companion, who has a bonehead implant. So flashes of unexpected intelligence. Is that a Dark Heresy? That's wait, hang on. What that is that not? Oh, okay. It's not part of what we normally play. Okay. Come on. Go back. As it looks like okay. Yeah, what the fuck? Damn it. Fucking Chrome. I hate Chrome. Already saw that one. I might want to raise my rate. Tim Kitzrow reflects on being paid $800 to voice NBA Jam announcer. Boom, shakalaka. I can't. Oh, it's an RPG coming soon. Okay. All right. Boom shakalaka. That we used to do that all goddamn time back in the day. Kind of like Road Traeger. Okay. Ultra realistic FPS body cam aims for consistent game-changing updates with the first major patch. Yeah, no, thank you. Finally, Assassin's Creed Shadows has added Isu content. Oh, shut up. Just shut up. Nobody's playing fucking game. I fundamentally do not view toy company CEOs or media CEOs as people. Top Take Engine Skyrim modder turns attention to Morrowind. All right, have fun with that. I did not like Morrowind. Marvel star Benedict Cumberbatch has more than a sense of when he will see Doctor Strange again. Could Avengers Doomsday have more cash flows to come? Don't care. I got to blow my nose real quick. Excuse me. Yeah, I don't care about it. I mean, we're gonna watch Avengers, not so much maybe to review it, but so we can talk about it because we're gonna have to talk about it. But Death Stranding 2 on the beach, PC listed spot on ER's website. Sure. Okay, this is yesterday. We talked about this. That's yesterday. I was already ahead of that. I already put out the video. Go watch the video. If you didn't watch it here, go watch the video. Here's the thing. The short I made of that video to try and tease the video gets more views than the actual video. You know how painful that is for me as a YouTuber? Hate that. What the hell? Let Alexi take a much served break. Skibbity toilet creator and boss of company now in charge of the fuck boom YouTube channel present a united front amid concern over creative control. This shit shouldn't be anything to begin with. Fucking brain rot crap. And that's yesterday's stuff. It's all yesterday. Okay. Anything here? Stranger Things makes Netflix history with all 4 seasons top 10 at once. Well, makes sense. Everybody's rewatching for the final season. Makes sense. Lost Continent signage removed. Don't care. We already talked about that. Warner Brothers wants second round of bids by Monday. Well, I guess that proves my theory wrong. We had a theory over the weekend that the deal was already done. So I guess that's wrong. No, there is no deal done. I'm going to still stick with Comcast Universal winning. I'm going to stick with that bet. We made that bet on the weekend. I'm going to stick with that bet. I'm going to stick with that. That's kind of it. That's kind of it. All right, that's the news for whatever it was, and I guess I'm sticking to it. We got anything else on the bid? Nope. So I guess let's just dive into some Warhammer lore. Give my throat a bit of a break for a couple minutes while we listen to good old Arbiter Ian, courtesy of Kel. Thank you, Kel, for $20. Here we go.
Hi gang, the Black Templars are possibly the largest Astartes force in the 40k galaxy. Their many fleets plying the galaxy, honouring the spirit of their founder, Sigismund, in continuing the Emperor's Great Crusade across the galaxy. To them, this is...
No, I do not have Rogue Trader. I have not been interested enough to play it.
The holy duty to be prosecuted as they see fit, and woe betide anyone who disagrees. Did I mention we have merch? Stay tuned at the end to find out more. The Black Templars are counted amongst some of the most powerful and dangerous warriors in the galaxy, a massively oversized Astartes chapter who've been a constant presence in the Imperium since its very earliest days, perpetually committed to the longest Imperial crusade ever known, a war waged literally without pause for 10,000 years to prove their unwavering loyalty to the God Emperor of mankind. They're eternal crusaders, relentlessly punishing the Emperor's enemies with fire, bolter, and blade. For them, this is a holy mission. Unlike most other Adeptus Astartes chapters, who generally view the Emperor as a supremely powerful mortal, the Black Templars are fierce adherents of the Imperial Creed. They venerate the master of mankind as their literal god, and their fanatical faith in that god drives them to wage a never-ending war with only hatred driving them on.
Only hatred. I like that. Only hatred driving them on. Fuck everything. Fuck everything. You are nothing but you are there to grease the wheels of our treads. That is all you are good for if you get in our way.
To the Black Templars, they're merely keeping alive the spirit of the Emperor's original legions, exemplifying their Primarch's deeply held beliefs and honouring their founder, Sigismund, the first Emperor's champion. And anyone who criticises that is a heretic, standing in the way of the righteous armies of the God Emperor. But none of that is exactly as cut and dry as it seems. 10,000 years is a long time, and like all zealots, the Black Templars have a tendency to misremember any of their history that may not suit their current agenda.
Yeah, of course there's going to be some alterations to keep the zealotry going. There has to be. You only keep zealotry going by altering history.
The origins of the Black Templars date back to the most turbulent era of Imperial history, the Horus Heresy and its direct aftermath. The chapter traced their lineage to the Imperial Fists, the 7th Legion of the Legiones Astartes. The Primarch of the Imperial Fists was Rogel Dawn, an immensely competent warlord and formidable leader whose martial prowess was matched only by determination and fortitude. During the Great Crusade, the Legion conquered its way across the galaxy, fighting in the armies of the Emperor. The Imperial Fists excelled in strong point assaults, defensive actions, and boarding assaults in the void. Their Primarch hailed from the ice world of Inwit, but the Legion recruited widely from the various planets they brought into compliance, and this resulted in a very diverse chapter culture. Its many subcultures and origins all unified by the martial traditions of the Legion. One of those traditions was the Temple of Oaths. Deep within the 7th Legion's colossal star fortress, the Phalanx, the Temple of Oaths was a shrine to the glory of the Crusade. It was not a temple in the religious sense. The Imperial Fists, their Primarch, and their Emperor were all dedicated to the Imperial truth, the casting down of religions in the name of reason. But the Imperial Fists were still crusaders. They believed in the righteousness of their cause and in spreading that belief, and the Temple of Oaths was the symbolic place their warriors came to make or renew their vows to their lord and emperor. The temple was hung with the ragged banners of defeated enemies, every oath made by an Imperial Fist carved into its black stone walls, recorded for all time. The duty of guarding the temple belonged to the Imperial Fist's first company, known as the Templars. Templars were veteran warriors of the Crusade, raised up not only for their martial skill.
Yeah, I figured that. I mean, if it's a star fortress, it's going to be mobile. If it's orbital, it could probably move. How powerful is it, though? I mean, probably has, how big is it? How big is that thing that we just saw? I'm curious. How big is it? Because that'll determine my judgment of probably whether or not it could stand up to assault.
But their zeal and devotion to the ideals of the Crusade, exemplars of what it meant to be an Imperial Fist. In battle, they were armed with the best war gear in the Legion, artificier armor suits, and advanced power blades, and then deployed into the thick of the
power blades. Fuck chainswords, going with power swords, baby. Hell yeah.
Fighting, or served as a bodyguard to the army's commander. Their leader, rising to this position in the latter days of the Great Crusade, was the first captain of the Legion, Sigismund, the right hand of Rogel Dawn, and widely known as the finest duelist in all the Legiones Astartes. He was a Terran, a stoic, quiet man, the furious rage of a crusader held in check by an iron will, and he was well known across the other legions. He became a constant fixture on the dueling floors of his fellow legions, seeking to perfect his craft. In fact, the Templars' practice of shackling their weapons to their wrists was something he adopted when he fought alongside Khan in the dueling circles of the World Eaters. However, the Horus Heresy and the Siege of Terror would shake the foundations of the 7th Legion and of their Templars. Rogel Dawn, as the Praetorian of Terror, was the architect of the defense of the Emperor's palace, and the Imperial Fists, along with Sigismund and his Templars, fought on the walls, but the experience of that changed Sigismund forever. Early into the siege, he'd become one of the very few Astartes to convert to the teachings of the Lectitio Divinitatis, the beginnings of the imperial faith, whose adherents saw the emperor as a god. And the first time he revealed this was when he refused Rogel Dawn's orders to lead the Imperial Fist's Retribution fleet to Istvan V, convinced by his faith that he was better needed on Terra. Rogel Dawn was furious and disappointed, seeing this as a betrayal. Not only had Sigismund abandoned the imperial truth, but in doing so, he'd proven that he would place his religion above orders from his Primarch.
That's a big deal. This is exactly why, as I see it, the emperor said, no, don't treat me as a god. Because when you treat me as a god, you're not going to be doing what's best for the empire. And what's best for the empire means sometimes putting aside what you want to do. And when you want to do something in the name of your God, that's for you more than them. So this is why the emperor said, don't treat me like a god, because then a good, loyal man will refuse an order because his faith tells him to. That makes sense in the scheme of this. Makes complete sense.
which was antithetical to the 7th Legion's way of thinking. Over the course of the siege, Sigismund became less and less prominent as a Legion commander and spent much of the latter part of the conflict leading a loyalist warband outside the walls, hunting traitor forces wherever he could find them, seeking out and slaying the mightiest enemy champions, armed with the Black Sword, an ancient gift given to him by Malcador on behalf of the Emperor himself. Of course, that's not exactly how the Black Templars remember it today. To them, those early Templars were the most pious and faithful of the Legion, and Sigismund's task was a critical one, a holy duty given to him by the Emperor, but also by Dawn himself. Sigismund was a shining exemplar of faith from the very start, and everyone at the time agreed. Anyway, in the aftermath of the heresy, Robute Guilliman, Primarch of the Ultramarines, mandated the dissolution of the immense Space Marine legions into smaller independent chapters of about 1,000 Astartes each, enshrined in the Codex Astartes. This was intended to prevent any single commander from wielding the military power necessary to challenge the Imperium again, but Rogel Dawn initially resisted it, leading to heated arguments with Guilliman, with both Primarchs accusing the other of disloyalty. Dawn eventually relented, allowing his legion to be subdivided, and one of the first successor chapters born from this process was the Black Templars. But Sigismund named the Black Templars first High
That is some badass art right there. That's some badass looking art.
Marshal refused to adhere to the precepts of the Codex Astartes himself. He gathered the most zealous brethren of the Imperial Fists, other Space Marines who had turned to this new religion, and created essentially a new Templar Brethren, the chapter adopting his black and white heraldry. Given this split with the new orthodoxy, Sigismund determined that a major gesture of faith was required to demonstrate this new chapter's loyalty. So upon leaving Terra, he swore a mighty oath that he and his new chapter would never rest in prosecuting their duties against the enemies of the Emperor, and he established the Eternal Crusade. By the 41st millennium, this crusade has continued unbroken for 10,000 standard years, making it the longest Space Marine crusade in Imperial history. Sigismund led the Black Templars for several centuries more, driven by the need to hunt down the traitor legions. After the Wars of the Scouring, part of his duty included maintaining a vigil over the Cadian Gate, anticipating the return of Horus's followers. And in 781 M31, Sigismund was proven correct when Abaddon the Despoiler launched the First Black Crusade. Forcing their way out of the Eye of Terror, Abaddon and his new Black Legion assaulted the Black Templars' flagship, the Eternal Crusader. Sigismund, by this point over 1,000 Terran years old, met Abaddon in single combat, and though Sigismund was eventually slain by the new War Master of Chaos, he did manage to bury his black sword deep in Abaddon's chest, leaving a permanent scar. Since then, the Black Templars have continued in their crusade for the last 10,000 years.
Well, he went out like a boss. Taking on Abaddon. We're taking on Abaddon, hurting him, giving him a permanent hurt.
During the War of the Beast in M32, the Black Templars under High Marshal Bohemond participated in the Last Wall Protocol and contributed strengths to rebuild the now extinct Imperial Fists chapter. In M34, the chapter ended the Catalexis heresy by executing the psychic terror known as the Cacodominus, the creature's psychic death scream known as the Howling, echoed through the warp, burning out the minds of astropaths and plunging entire subsectors into barbarism, but at least the alien was dead.
Yeah. We don't care about the consequences. We just kill this shit.
And during the Wars of Apostasy in M36, known to the chapter as the Terran Crusade, the Black Templars, enraged by the destruction of their chapter keeps by the forces of High Lord Goj Vandire, declared a crusade against Holy Terror itself. High Marshal Siganandus personally led this crusade, fighting alongside the Imperial Fists, Soul Drinkers, and Firehawks. After Vandire's death, Siganandus spent years hunting down any who'd broken faith. And they've continued in that vein through to the 41st millennium. Fractured into multiple separate crusades spread across the galaxy, the Black Templars still see themselves as the devoted of Sigismund, one of the few Astartes forces to carry on the spirit of conquest, devoted to the glory of the God Emperor and the purging of his foes. As a culture, the Black Templars are defined by their uncompromising methods and and their extreme devotional zeal. The core belief of the Black Templars is the divinity of the Emperor of mankind and their own appointed role as his crusaders and champions. This fierce adherence to the Imperial Creed is instilled in the neophytes and initiates of the chapter through continuous reinforcement of their battle honors, holy penance and prayer, self-flagellation and the swearing of vows and oaths, and through relentless psycho-conditioning.
Just pausing it for transformer purposes, but also a good moment to say that psycho-conditioning, aka indoctrination.
They strive to forgo all but the bare necessities, purifying themselves to emulate Sigismund's example as they remember it.
Is that thing cut? Is that covering his penis? That man has no penis, does he? That's sad.
Ceremonial dedications and martial drills one and the same. They see that 10,000-year crusade as a monumental act of atonement and loyalty, a way of honoring and renewing the oaths sworn by Sigismund. They're utterly ruthless towards anything perceived as a threat to the emperor and his domains, and consider it part of their duty to avenge every wrong committed against the Imperium. In fact, their doctrines teach that the only response to such blasphemy is pure hatred, a bone-deep disgust for anything that doesn't conform to what they see as the emperor's divine perfect rule. And the chaplains of the chapter nurture and encourage this, trusting to their rage to keep their battle brothers
very Sith. Very Sith.
Pure when faced with the horrors of the galaxy. Before battle, it's common for brothers of the chapter to stoke this hatred, swearing terrible oaths and vows, suffer not the unclean to live, abhor the witch, uphold the honor of the emperor, some of which have been handed down from the very earliest days of the chapter, these ancient oaths helping to steel their souls against the horrific threats they face. As a chapter, they reserve a specific and intense hatred for the mutant, the heretic, and the witch, seeing all of these as conduits for chaos and damnation.
Not wrong. They're not wrong. Now, would it be fair to say that the Black Templars focus the most on chaos? Yeah, they'll trample Xenos, but I feel like they primarily go after chaos. Feels like that's what they do.
The very presence of a psyker on the battlefield can drive them into a zealous fury, and in a significant divergence from the Codex Astartes, the Black Templars refuse to field any librarians. Their extreme revulsion towards individuals tainted by the warp prevents them from recruiting any man bearing the mutation that allows psychic abilities. However, the Black Templars do tolerate and even honor occasionally some certain Imperial psykers. They view astropaths with a level reverence, seeing them as holy disciples since they commune directly with the God Emperor. Similarly, navigators are endured because their psychic blessing allows them to see the divine light of the Astronomicon, guiding the Crusades to deliver retribution. The teachings of the chapter constantly extol this way of life as one of pious knightly honor, the Black Templars being the epitome of Crusader faith and zeal, just like the Templars of the Old Legion. Their long histories are kept aboard their flagship, the Eternal Crusader, in the Hall of Records, referred to internally as the Scriptorium of Truths, where scribes meticulously record the chapter's actions. This archive is, of course, carefully curated by puritanical chaplains.
Yeah, gotta make sure nothing put in there deviates from the dogma.
Who actively burn or suppress any record that might contradict the chapter's existing dogma, since obviously anything that suggests the Black Templars to have ever erred in the service of the Emperor surely must be the foulest blasphemy.
Yeah.
And because of all these beliefs, the Black Templars can sometimes prove quite dangerous allies. While their faith is a source of incredible resolve, allowing them to win against impossible odds, their zeal often leads to very extreme actions. Their violent totality often shakes other Imperial forces that fight alongside them, whose suggestions are often dismissed, since nobody could be as righteous or faithful as the Black Templars. They see negotiation as a weakness and are willing to completely ruin conquered worlds or destroy cities to facilitate a battle.
There's one heretic left here. Drop the nukes. Do it.
They have little to no regard for civilian casualties, since it should be the glory of any person to die in the service of the Emperor.
You see, once again, This is what I think the Emperor was talking about. You can't have an empire if you have no citizens. And yeah, the citizens of the empire are all downtrodden, broken, indoctrinated, and living miserable lives. But you still need them. Still need them. Nuking entire planets, not a good thing.
And they've been known to mercilessly wipe out entire planetary populations that they deem to have been infected by heresy or mutation without offering surrender or mercy. Their dogmatism means they're extremely insular and will turn that wrath against imperial allies they deem unworthy or compromised, or simply dishonorable by their own standards. Many planetary governors have regretted petitioning a Black Templar's crusade for aid, the Marines turning on them once the greater enemies defeated. The Black Templars in the 41st
With friends like these, who needs enemies?
millennium remain a fleet-based chapter, one with their own structures of organization that bear very little similarity to the Codex Astartes, except in terms of simple things like squad sizes and unit markings. Their symbol is the Crusader Cross, a device that's historically associated with the old Imperial Fists Legion veterans. Individual initiates personalize their armor with devotional imagery, litanies, and Crusader seals. That armor is the color of Sigismund's personal heraldry, painted black with white detailing. And the usual squad speciality symbols are often absent in the chapter. Instead, their tactical role, battle line, fire support, etc., is indicated by the color of the pauldron trim. As befits that knightly image, robes and surplices are common, and the warriors of the chapter still observe Sigismund's tradition of chaining their weapons to their armor so they can never be disarmed in the heat of battle. The Black Templars do not often or really ever operate in chapter strength. Instead, the chapter's broken down into a number of separate crusades. These are autonomous armies tasked with a specific objective or campaign, some very lengthy and lasting for decades, and they continue campaigning until that mission's complete. The number of active crusades fluctuates based on the needs of the Imperium and the chapter, but usually there are no less than 3 at any one time, and historical records show periods when up to 14 crusades were active across just the Segmentum Solar.
Yeah, I remember when we went over this stuff previously on the Astartes lore, stuff like that. These guys are they're still the same one legion. They've broken down in name only, which is a little frightening.
The size of a crusade is highly variable, ranging from small forces of a few squads, maybe 50 Space Marines, up to 100 warriors, up to formations equivalent to several Codex companies, sometimes numbering hundreds and hundreds of Battle Brothers. Because of this, it's likely that the chapter vastly exceeds the 1,000 Astartes limit defined in the Codex, something the Black Templars simply don't care about. Their full strength might even reach 5,000 or 6,000 Space Marines, though their true numbers remain a mystery even to them. This is partly because each crusade is completely autonomous, their fleet consisting of its own battle barges, strike cruisers, training vessels, and forge ships, and each looking to their own recruitment and training. Each crusade is commanded by a marshal, a rank roughly equivalent to a captain in other chapters. Crusades are often named for that marshal in charge, and they apply his crusade seal to their warriors' armor and war engines. And the larger crusades may subdivide their forces into separate fighting companies, each led by the marshal's castellans, a position roughly equivalent to a lieutenant in other chapters. Above these stands the High Marshal, the de facto chapter master and inheritor of Sigismund's ancient duties, elected by a council of marshals and nominally in charge of the whole chapter. The High Marshal's crusade is based aboard the chapter's flagship and Sigismund's old command, the Eternal Crusader. As a fleet-based force, the Eternal Crusader has become the spiritual center of the chapter. Its massive expanse is filled with chapels and reliquaries containing vast hordes of sacred artifacts from the ages. These relics, maintained by chapter serfs, range from banners carried during the Great Crusade to fragments of Rogaldorn's original sword. The High Marshal...
So does that mean that ship never goes into battle? I would say that ship can't go into battle. It's too precious to them. Unless they think it gives them superpowers. Yeah, I can see that. I think here's the thing. I think the Black Templars are just too focused outward and not inward. They accept the new Codex Astartes as merely a trifle, and they pay it lip service. But I feel like, just based on what we're seeing here, there's more apostasy outward than inward. So they're going to keep pushing outward. So it does go into battle because they think it's because of its. They probably think everything on there makes it stronger. It's like orc sticking red makes it go faster.
Oversees the overall progress and deployment of all the active crusades and holds incredible power, decreeing where his forces will fight without necessary recourse to the High Lords of Terror or any other imperial institution. If a crusade is ever deemed complete, its forces might be reassigned piecemeal to bolster other crusades, or they might be assimilated back into the High Marshal's household until a new crusade is mustered. However, since the crusades themselves are so insular, it's common for initiates or even marshals to never have met the High Marshal before they inevitably die in battle. The current High Marshal is Helbrecht, considered a living personification of his chapter, as brutal and callous as he is tactically gifted. His advance through the chapter's ranks was incredibly swift, first coming to wider attention in the Sword Brethren of the Vinculus Crusade, and then ascending to Marshal of that crusade when his mentor died, demonstrating a shrewd strategic mind. He's still regarded as one of the finest Void commanders within the Adeptus Astartes. As Marshal, he suffered a significant defeat and lost his hand battling the Necron overlord Imhotep the Stormlord in 930 M41, but following a 5-year crusade of penitence and a pilgrimage back to the Phalanx, Helbrecht returned with his faith rekindled and exacted revenge, destroying Imhotep's tomb ship in 985 M41. When the sitting High Marshal, Cordal, was slain, Helbrecht was unanimously elected as his successor and has since launched the Ghoul Stars Crusade and diverted the Damaris and Tiberior Crusades, joining his own forces to relieve the besieged world of Armageddon during its third war.
I really do like that. Gets his hand cut off, bitter about it, gets even more zealous, and then goes back and fucks over a Necron. That's some serious fucking balls and power right there.
998 M41. Aside from the household of the High Marshal, the chapter's specialist detachments also maintain a small level of centralized control. Chaplains are essential to the Black Templars, responsible for indoctrinating the absolute faith and bone-deep hatred required of the initiates, and overseeing the spiritual and physical training of neophytes. Chaplains are typically organized at the chapter level, but then deployed out to individual crusades, where they maintain the crusade's reclusiam, the shrine and spiritual center of that crusade, and oversee its warriors' vows before battle. Tech Marines and apothecaries are also deployed centrally, assigned to crusades as they're needed, but other than those specialists, each
All right, somebody tell me, what purpose does that robotic arm serve? To hold something? Hold it in place so you chop it apart? So, yeah.
crusade looks to its own numbers. Recruitment is handled through a system of chapter keeps. While as a crusading chapter, they reject a permanent homeworld, the Black Templars establish keeps on every world they conquer or reclaim. These keeps are smaller than conventional fortress monasteries, but are formidable bastions, capable of accommodating 200 to 300 space marines, though very few are actually garrisoned in that way. The keeps act as staging posts for future crusades, maintain a vigil over various regions, and also serve as crucial recruitment centers. Because they're often built on recently ravaged worlds, the keeps often recruit from populations that exhibit a fierce martial culture, usually one recently tempered by war. Aspirants who declare their intent to join the Black Templars must endure a dangerous journey to reach the chapter keep, where they're rigorously tested for faith, purity, and martial ability. Once they're approved, aspirants are then implanted with the gene seed organs required, and their training continues until their assignment to a passing crusade fleet. Unlike Codex chapters, the Black Templars do not maintain a dedicated scout company as a training battalion. Training is instead conducted on crusade. A neophyte who survives the trials of entry to a given crusade is assigned to the tutelage of a single, fully initiated battle brother known as an initiate.
Yeah, you either survive or you don't. Trial by fire, which I respect. I respect that, considering this the system that they're in, what they do. Listen, we are the most hateful, angry motherfuckers out there. If your hate cannot make you survive what we're going into, then you're not going to be one of us. You're going to be just more fodder for the war.
This relationship is an apprenticeship. The neophyte acts as a squire, serving his mentor and pledging obedience. And in return, the initiate swears an oath to train the neophyte in warfare and in the Black Templars' methods of worship. The initiate takes his neophyte into combat, instructing him by bloody example. And the bond there is usually very deep. Should the neophyte fall, the initiate swears a death oath to avenge him. The initiate battle brother alone can determine when his apprentice has proven his courage and skill sufficiently, allowing the neophyte to be elevated to full battle brother. This master to apprentice system ensures the preservation of the chapter's traditions, wisdom, and experience through the ages. The majority of Black Templars are initiates, skilled with bolter and blade and fighting on the front lines of the crusade. The greatest warriors amongst them might be raised further to members of the marshal's household. These are sword brethren, handpicked by the marshal of the crusade and accorded the same honours and respect as chapter veterans, their status marked by red trim on their black pauldrons. As sword brethren, they're no longer required to mentor neophytes, and they receive specialised training, particularly in the use of tactical dreadnought armour, Terminator armor. Each crusade also maintains another honored position, that of the Emperor's Champion, believed to be a manifestation of the Emperor's will and a representation of the ideals of Sigismund himself. This unique role is filled on an ad hoc basis. On the eve of
that is a sexy piece of art right there. That's damn cool looking.
Battle, a Black Templar, usually an initiate, might receive a divine vision of their future deeds. They present themselves to the chaplains, who anoint them and ritually clothe them in holy artifacts. They wear the armor of faith, a form of artificier armor inscribed with sacred wards, and carry the black sword, a massive mastercrafted power sword similar to Sigismund's original blade. The actual equipment each champion gets might vary here, but each crusade, however small, holds something aside to fulfill this role. As the champion prays through the night, the Battle Brothers' personality is often subsumed by the persona of the Emperor's Champion, who's believed to be a direct manifestation of the God Emperor's intent, his duty to seek out and slay the enemy's most powerful champions in the thick of combat. The rest of the Black Templars will, of course, go to any lengths to recover those artifacts once the Emperor's Champion inevitably falls in battle.
Inevitably, he's walking into the shittiest of the shit.
The combat doctrine of the Templars is direct, aggressive, and favors close quarters engagement. The Black Templars prioritize swift and devastating shock assaults, plunging into the enemy lines as quickly as possible. They operate with a merciless, focused aggression, always pressing the attack and unwilling to wait in defense.
That's a little orcish. A little orcish, if you ask me.
Embracing confrontation and seeking to end the battle immediately at the edge.
Okay, not so orcish. Orcs will keep fighting. They don't want to end it quickly. Okay, I take it back.
To the blade so that they can keep moving onwards. That doctrine necessitates mobility and speed. Drop pod assaults are extremely common, as is deployment from an armored spearhead of heavily armed vehicle. The Black Templars were actually the first chapter to discover the STC database for the Land Raider Crusader during the Geralas Crusade in M39, a variant specifically armed and built to serve as a line breaker, replacing its las cannons with hurricane bolters and increasing its transport capacity. Given their overwhelming preference for fighting face-to-face, many Black Templars choose to carry weapons better suited to close combat, such as chainswords and power fists, even issuing the standard Holy Bolter for a melee weapon when possible. As a direct result of that preference, specialized fire support units like Devastator squads and heavy ranged weaponry in general are notably rare within the chapter's forces. Instead, the majority of the fighting companies take to the field of battle as Crusader squads, squads of Templars initiates who fight alongside their attendant neophytes. The squads are tactically flexible, not through any particular design, but rather because of the varying preferences of the initiates themselves, who could be armed with conventional bolters or close combat weapons. Their novitiates, who haven't yet earned the right to wear full power armor, go into battle clad in the lighter carapace used by scouts in other chapters. A full listing of the campaigns of the Black Templars would be almost impossible to list. It's possible.
It's never ending. That's why.
Well, not even the Templars themselves have a totally accurate record anymore, especially given how much of their own history they burn. But the 41st millennium and the rise of the era Indomitus has kept them busier than ever. One of the most...
So there's my point. They're so busy dispensing the Emperor's justice. They don't spare a thought to the fact that maybe what Gilliam's doing is heresy to them.
Famous recent conflicts was the Third War for Armageddon, where the Black Templars, alongside the Space Wolves, fought the forces of the Orc warlord Ghazghkull Mag Uruk Thraka. During the war, High Marshal Helbrecht assumed command of the Void Battle, while small detachments of Templars operated in the hives on the surface. Notably, the detachment commanded by the newly invested Reclusiarch Grimaldus was instrumental in saving Hell's Reach Hive. And as the war died down, the Black Templars' fleet insisted on continuing to pursue Ghazghkull away from the system. A few years later, when the Great Rift opened, the Templars found themselves scattered. Several crusades vanished entirely, and those remaining intensified their purge against mutation and heresy, coming to the aid of many imperial worlds, often prioritizing shrine worlds or other sites of holy significance. During this chaotic time, the newly returned Primarch Robute Guilliman's Torchbearer fleet delivered Primaris Space Marines to the Black Templars.
All right, I bet the Black Templars are not going to respond kindly to the Primaris.
In person. The Templars had always remembered the Lord of the Ultramarines as Guilliman the Divisive, as they saw his commandments to split the legions as despotic, only tempered by the input of the most loyal Primarch, Rogel Dawn. Fearing the fanatical chapter would therefore reject the newcomers, Guilliman met Helbrecht aboard the Eternal Crusader.
Man, look at the size difference, dude. Giant.
Helbrecht, though impatient to continue hunting Thraka, accepted Guilliman as a son of the God Emperor and did eventually see the value of the Primaris Marines, incorporating them into his crusade, though some crusades were considerably less agreeable.
There it is.
And had to be convinced a few times before they would accept the new Primaris Marines. As that interaction shows, the Black Templars are one of the most zealous but militarily divergent chapters of the Adeptus Astartes, and can be something of a dangerous loose cannon within the Imperium. Ultimately, their culture derives from the crusader tendencies of the old Imperial Fist Legion, with their fiery zeal and stubborn refusal to yield, but cut adrift from the more practical, sensible elements of that legion that kept that zeal in check. And in isolation, it's become more and more extreme over the years. Their zeal and self-righteousness makes them terrifyingly effective, but this fanatical devotion also creates critical weaknesses and internal contradictions that highlight the hypocrisy of the Imperium itself. While they worship the Emperor as a god, a concept generally abhorred by other Astartes chapters for thousands of years, they simultaneously cling to the belief that they alone carry on the secular Great Crusade. Their unwavering adherence to that faith, while protecting them from corruption, denies them the valuable strategic assets of a librarius and causes friction with other imperial organizations like the Inquisition or the Astra Militarum. Furthermore, their zealous requirement to crush all enemies, accepting no surrender, and often leaving little behind, means that the planets they liberate are often left shattered. Wars often being won, but in a needlessly destructive manner, before the crusade moves swiftly on, concerned only with the next target rather than rebuilding the worlds they've left ruined. And that contradiction is very much their role within the history of 40k too. The Black Templars were introduced as a colour scheme, basically, in the 90s, in the middle of 2nd edition, but with no background. It was only with the release of 3rd edition 40k that they moved into the spotlight. 3rd edition is often credited with a turn towards a more grim, dark 40k. In many people's minds, 3rd edition is synonymous with the jettisoning of some of the sillier 80s and 90s lore, and its replacement with a darker, edgier, more serious feel. And it's certainly true that 3rd edition ramped up the medievalism in the setting. This had been present before, of course, but the 3rd edition art was sketchier and grittier, with John Blanche's work right at the front compared to some of the cartoonier feel of 2nd edition. The poster chapters of 2nd
Yeah, that 2nd edition art, that's horrible. That's bad.
edition have been the bright, shiny Blood Angels or Roman-themed Ultramarines, but for 3rd edition, it was the grimy, brutal horrible Black Templars. And the year after 3rd edition was released came Codex Armageddon, which introduced a lot of their lore and introduced their first ever army list. But this darkening of the lore is, to be honest, a bit of an exaggeration. Not that much changed, and 3rd edition was still silly as all hell, and the Black Templars' absolute ridiculousness as a chapter was part of the joke. They pulled Space Marines back for a while from being something shiny and heroic to being something really, really horrible, something that the Imperium needs, but you probably really don't want to ever meet. The Black Templars are the Imperium in a microcosm.
Yeah, that's a term that we had that discussion a long time ago. I forget what game we were playing, where we're playing. It's like, so we said, well, don't you want to be Space Marines in this instance? And to which we replied, no, if we've called in the Space Marines, that means things are truly fucked. If the Marines have been called in, then we're fucked. That's a whole different situation.
Inarguably effective, but also ridiculously self-defeating, dogmatic to the point of complete absurdity. In keeping with 40K's particular brand of satire, they're a real-world concept, cool Crusader knights, but held up for the ridiculous self-serving lie that idea mostly was, even in real-world history. Thanks for watching.
There we go. The Black Templars. Everything I expected from what we'd already experienced. Thank you, Kel. We had fun with that one. And unless we got anything else, I'm going to wrap up the show because my voice is struggling a bit. And I'm starting to need a break here. But that was a good one. Another Warhammer Wednesday for the books. All right. Let's see one last check. Anything else going on? Let's have a look here. I actually got to blow my nose real quick. Hold on. Holy crap. It's 70 degrees outside. Holy shit. That means I could go outside without being cold. And let me check something real quick here. Checking my packages real quick. Oh, yes. My pots and pans are outside. And I got to go up to the hub to the other one. But yes, my packages are here. Makes me want to go out there right now. All right, guys. So we're going to wrap it up. Unless you guys got anything else you want to throw my way in these final moments. Now let's review what the rest of the week looks like. No show tomorrow. It's Thanksgiving, holiday. Everybody go have a nice holiday. Be safe. Eat turkey if you like to eat turkey. Fall asleep on the couch, watching football. And we'll see you Friday. Friday, back to regular show. Also, we got Ball Busters, where I will tell you why I am not in Derby's basement. Okay? Because that isn't true. I am not in Derby's basement. Saturday, no stream. Sunday, no stream. That doesn't mean I'm not open to doing stuff, but I have nothing officially scheduled. So we'll leave it at that. Monday, we'll be back to normal. We've got this show, Monday through Friday, Daily Dive Double Ds. This Monday should be a stream of conscious with me and Sam hanging out, shooting the shit for an hour or so. And then the rest of the week will be as it is because it'll be December. Christmas is here almost. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me today, the day before Thanksgiving. I hope you guys have a safe and happy holiday. I hope you eat all you want to eat and enjoy what you want to enjoy. And we will be back Friday with another live stream. Until then, guys, you take it easy. Happy Thanksgiving. Good night. That's the wrong button. Here we go. Goodbye.